Nick and Walker at Full Spectrum Laser, and welcome to Laser Talk Live.
That's right. Once again, we're here live at Full Spectrum Laser, this time in our beautiful showroom, ready to talk about this week pets and all thing pets related having to do with lasers. Pretty exciting show.
Yeah, and then we're going to have Phil drop by and talk about new software updates.
That's right. The Muse and Retina Engrave 3 just got a brand new version 1.7 software upgrade this week that started pushing out on Monday. It should be completed by tomorrow for all users. So we'll talk about some of the upgrades and features that got added to that software upgrade and a few other things we have coming up for the Pro upgrade with RE3 as well.
So, pets. You have a pet? Yeah?
I have a pet. You have a pet, right?
I do.
Scott, you have a pet, right? Charles, you have a pet, right? Everybody has pets. Actually, what's funny is 65% of households in America have pets. That's 300 million pets in America.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of pets. So if you think about it, 60% of those households that have pets are high-income households.
Yeah, so that's an opportunity.
Exactly. So as someone who owns a laser and someone who knows about pets, you can do many, many things to personalize and make things.
And that has a word, right? Specialized.
We're going to let the
airplane go by?
Space shuttle landing on the roof just pass over real quick.
SpaceX.
Yeah, so premiumization is taking like standard objects and then personalizing them and upscaling them a bit for personal use. So example, if you were going to shop for a collar for your pet, you might pay $15 for this at the store, but if it's got your pet's name on it, Whiskers,
yeah,
that is an easy upsell. So if you can imagine you have this base product and then you can offer a personalization feature on your website, Facebook page, Etsy shop, whatever, and you can have products just like this Whiskers collar, for sale. What other type of things can you do for pets?
I mean, if you don't want their name on here, you can also make tags. So we made a couple of tags, and these are just default name tags.
This one was kind of neat. You made looks like a little cheese sandwich.
Yeah, we got a cheese sandwich name tag. You open it up, and it's got your contact info in there. Just in case he gets lost and they don't have a reader.
Yeah, and we actually have some files for even bigger projects too, like this pet bowl holder, right?
Yeah, and then we got this
single
Pro
here?
project.
You can even do
It's
it on
the
Pro.
dual. Oh, let me stab you with this tail real quick.
So we got not only some free files up on our website so you can kind of get started on this, but like what type of approaches could you have using your laser going and personalizing things for pets? So you have pet shops, especially if you're going into pet shops, look for the mom and pops owned pet stores, your Petcos, your what's the other, Pet Smarts.
Pet Smarts.
Those you won't have much approach with, but the small mom and pop stores, especially mom and pops veterinarian and doggy daycare places. Grooming places, absolutely. Those places are a great place to get your products into the store and then even offer a service where you can maybe just have one or two of your products there on display and people can order from you using just a pop-up display on the counter.
I just thought custom brushes.
Custom brushes. You have actually some custom comb files up on the website. So not only can you do simple things for your pet, but custom decor and signage for inside veterinarian offices, doggy daycare places. You can even help out with dog walkers doing promotional keychains, keepsakes, and leash shoes. You're actually doing a really cool project this Friday concerning pets, aren't you?
Yeah. So we're the little poo bags, right? Mm-hmm. Can we say poo bag?
I think we can say poo bag.
Poo bag holders, and
then an FCC check on poo bag. Okay.
And then leash holders. So we'll have like 3 hooks for your leashes, and then a little poo bag holder. I like saying poo bag.
How many more times do you think we can squeeze in?
I'm gonna try 3.
3 more?
Yeah.
Okay, keep track of us out there. 3 more poo bags. Does that work? Okay. All right. So other things you can do, obviously. Let's say we're just gonna move this out of the way so we can see the notes. So an ROI example, really easy. Let's say you wanted to make some dog tags, sort of like this. So thin middle sheet of, let's say like a 24 by 12, a 26 gauge steel.
It's $6.
About $6. It's really nothing. So you can make about 70 custom tags with that, which you can sell anywhere from between $5 and $15 a piece.
And that's at Home Depot. That's like just right out the store. Nothing special or like bulk sales. So.
Absolutely. So you can imagine on a minimum of a $5 to $8 purchase, you're making anywhere between $350 and $500 on those tags you can make from one sheet of metal. So the math on that's pretty easy to see.
Pretty good margin.
Pretty good margin to move. The only thing is that with metal tags, in order to cut them, you need to either have to
Yeah,
Use
you'd have to
compact
compact fiber, and that's a little more expensive than your hobby machine. But
Absolutely.
we do have stuff like this from Romark.
Yeah, absolutely. And then too, there's plenty of people who can do the service of the cutting for the metal for you, and you can do the marking on your FC or FD fiber machines, or with Surmark on your CO2 laser systems.
That's what's great is all those systems that we have, you can get around doing the same thing different kinds of ways.
Absolutely. I think it's probably the best thing about lasers is just a variable use you can have. So there's really no problem or project you can have come up that there won't be some sort of use that the laser can kind of give, even if you're just making labels for stuff.
Oh yeah, like this is the same name tag, and this is actually made out of leather, which is still going to work.
Absolutely, and I think the leather is actually kind of a neat thing because you don't really see it too much. It works great. It's durable. It's not going to like go bad, and with just a little bit of protection on the leather, it really is a great look.
It is, and you can do that with a hobby machine with no Surmark, no anything, just a raw piece of leather.
Absolutely. Looks like we have a couple doggone good. Those look doggone good. Jason Fry, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Scott, hello, man. How you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, so basically with the pets, not only are there a handful of things you can make for your own home, but obviously there's numerous things you can do for selling products either in your own personal shop or, like we said, going into the dog groomers, the doggy daycare, or what have you.
And, I mean, we're talking a lot of dogs and cats, but pets is fairly broad.
Fairly huge, absolutely. So we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah,
we're talking tons of cool things you can do for reptiles, birds.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
In the fish tank, do some acrylic cuts.
Absolutely. You might have seen the show Tanked on, I think it's on History Channel. They do a ton of laser cut acrylic things, specialize inside of their tanks. And I mean, while on the subject of leather, I mean, horseback riding has tons of opportunities with that. Whether it's saddles, saddlebags, different accessories like that as well.
Yeah. I was just thinking, we used to have mice for our reptiles. We'd breed them and then feed the babies to the reptiles. But we would build them houses out of cardboard and hot glue. And just imagine all the cool things you could laser cut, and I was just thinking.
About that.
Yeah.
Nothing weird about that at all. So what else do we have going on with the show today?
So we have our beautiful software engineer, Phil.
He's a beautiful man. Be careful if you're watching at home. Shed your eyes. Maybe can we get sunglasses?
Yeah.
If you have sunglasses around, put a pair on. It's a bit much. So without further ado, Phil, why don't you come on over and we'll do a little bit of talking about RE3. Come on in.
I'll be the middleman and him.
We can do one of those. Yeah. We had to do the.
We'll be like, hey, Phil.
So Phil's literally one of the longest tenured employees here at Full Spectrum Laser. He's worked here nearly as long as the founder. He's written RE1, that was your software. You wrote RE3D, and then Phil's written RE2, and now RE3. The big release today with a few add-ons. What are you excited about for this release?
Yeah, 1.7. It's been about 3 months in the oven. We've been working on it for a while. It's the biggest release to date, so we really took some feedback into account from users, implemented some new features.
Now, biggest release to date, size-wise or feature-wise?
Definitely size and features.
Excellent.
Yeah. We've made a lot of back-end improvements. The speed of various aspects of the software is improved, and there's some new capabilities.
I noticed as well too that the download is actually much quicker on this update.
Shouldn't be.
Well,
it's about the same size as last time in terms of the update payload. It's the same thing. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So I noticed that there is Illustrator integration on this version. You want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. One of our top requests is third-party file format compatibility. So we decided that AI was fairly low-hanging fruit, and we spent some time on trying to import AI files without having to open them in Illustrator and then printing directly to the software. So
now you're basically with the new version 1.7, you're able to drag and drop AI files directly into the software.
That's correct, yeah.
And that maintains size, all the vector fills, vector lines, weight and everything.
I'm sure there are some corner cases, but to the best of our ability, we've tried to provide the feature at the best possible quality.
We've been playing around with it a little bit on the load in the marketing showroom, and that capability, really just not having to have Illustrator open ever when you have files done is such a big benefit, especially if you've been working on something you just want to throw it in, try with it, and two, being able to bring Illustrator files in and then edit them in RE3, huge benefit.
Absolutely, yeah. It's exciting to be able to save the time, and for Adobe Illustrator users, there's another reason to use your laser.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and then a lot of the print drive functionality has improved on Macs specifically, correct?
Yeah, we changed the naming of the import file format as it comes into RE3, and it imports a little bit faster now. There were some reliability issues before; those were also fixed.
Absolutely. I've also noticed that large files, like large JPEGs, large SVGs, also load a lot faster.
Yeah.
What's been changed with that?
Yeah, so that's one of the main bullet points I wanted to talk about. So we've been working for about 3 months to try and improve some of our back-end processes to change the way that we import files, specifically PDFs and raster file formats like PNG, BMP, JPEG. So we're seeing performance improvements of between 2 and 4 times. And you'll see these improvements when you're importing the file, and then again when the laser is preparing the file to be run.
That's the thing I think I've noticed the most speed improvement on is after you press play and you're sending the job to the laser to be performed. Very, very quick. So really in a workflow that was already much faster than our closest competitor in Glowforge, like we've gone just a little bit faster with the going from idea to inception as far as getting your project lasered.
Not only that, but the software is hosted on the laser, of course.
Absolutely.
So we're
not
not
having to worry about any sort of connectivity to the internet. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So we're taking the existing hardware that you have in the Muse and just utilizing it to a greater extent. Yeah.
The other feature I wanted to talk about that we haven't really spent a lot of time on was the Hotspot, which is enabled now with the Muse. You want to speak a little bit about that?
The hotspot is on by default, so there will be certain situations, maybe when you're unpacking the laser or other environments where you can't connect it to your own network, but you do have a network-enabled device like a cell phone or a laptop that you want to connect directly to the unit. So the hotspot that's hosted on the laser will allow you to do that.
So essentially, like you can host a hotspot on your phone, you can essentially turn your laser into a hotspot that multiple devices can connect to and control the laser from.
It's the same concept, yep.
That's incredible. So that could be very useful for not only for makerspaces, but even EDU applications, so multiple users can be connected.
Absolutely.
And then I noticed a great use for it was in trade show events where we don't have a real good internet connectivity anywhere, and so the only real good way to connect to the laser is either by a hotspot or a hardwire.
Yes, yeah, and as before, we do support direct connection. So if you have an Ethernet port on your computer, you can connect that directly to the laser as well, and
Absolutely.
that's good.
Now, users that are still comfortable using RE2, they can still click back in the upper right-hand corner of the RE icon to switch back, but that's going away the next load, won't it? So this.
I can't comment on when that's going away or what software version where that's going to cease to exist. But as of right now, with 1.7, that is present. And
Absolutely.
if you are married to RE2 or if you like it better for some reason, you can of course go back to it.
Absolutely, but people should start merging over to RE3 as that will eventually be not a part of the load anymore, correct?
Eventually, we think that it won't be. Yeah.
Okay.
It's much
Yeah.
better. RE3 is much better.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
at feature parity now, and one of the other features I wanted to talk about was reverse raster. And
Oh,
sorry if you were
absolutely.
going to bring this up.
No,
but
absolutely.
This is one of the last remaining features from RE1 that was not implemented into either RE2 or RE3. So this really brings RE3 up to in feature parity to RE1 completely. So I think a lot of users will be excited, and that's available through the options menu.
Absolutely. So you can go to your device options and under device basically select that your raster will begin from the bottom up. Now the advantage of doing bottom up rastering is that your exhaust is pulling away what you're engraving to the top. When you engrave from the bottom up, essentially the areas that you've already engraved aren't getting trampled, if you will, with the exhaust as you engrave from the same way you would from top down. There's another feature you guys are working on for the next release though, center out engraving. You want to speak about that a little bit?
It's undecided right now. We're looking into how to implement it, but I will talk about that in a future episode.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right,
Can't
well,
wait.
thanks.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Can't wait, excellent. Well, thanks so much for Phil for stopping by and talking a little bit about the version 1.7 release for RE3. Once again, make sure your Muse is connected to the internet, and those push out at midnight every night, right? If they haven't got the release, how does that?
That's correct. As of right now, all units that are eligible to receive the release are set to receive it. So if your machine is online, you may have to power cycle, but you should be getting it shortly.
Right, so worst case scenario, give it a power cycle. for the release. And then again, you can look in the bottom right-hand corner for the version 1.7 update on the LCD screen. Check out the email that you were sent about the update with connection to the blog that has all those details in it, and a few other frequently asked questions about the update, how it will roll out, and when to expect it. Phil, thanks so much for stopping by Laser Talk for a minute. I know you're really busy, got to get back upstairs and get back in all the engineering stuff, but I appreciate you taking a few minutes, come down to the lobby.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, man, anytime.
Yeah. If I had had more than a couple hours notice, I would have worn a suit and tie, or maybe a Hawaiian shirt at least.
Oh, well, we'll make sure that next time we have plenty of notice for and we'll expect the suit tie with Hawaiian shirt. So don't think for one second you're getting away from it.
All right.
That would be a great combo.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thanks so much for Phil for stopping by.
Thanks, Phil.
Laser Talk this afternoon. We got just a few other things to wrap up here on the show, and one of them is our weekly contest winner. We got a really cool one this week. Congratulations to Tiffany from Tiff Zippy. Look at these cool rings she's making out of wood. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
What a cute ring. So Tiffany from Tiff Zippy, congratulations. These little wooden rings you're making are gorgeous. They're wonderful. I'm actually probably going to try to make a wooden ring tonight when I go home. That looks so neat.
Those are for fancy napkins.
Oh, that's what that is? That's not a ring?
Oh,
that's a
fancy
I'm
napkin holder.
This is how uncultured your boy is. Yeah, so that's a napkin
I'll let you know
holder.
my grandma. She'll tell you about the fancy napkin holders.
Okay, so it's a fancy napkin holder. Great project either way. I love the butterfly ring. Great job, Tiffany. Make sure you contact your sales member or look for the email about your contest winnings coming your way. Looks like we have a couple other things coming in. Looks like questions coming in off the internet. Looks like we lost connectivity to the.
Well, hello to everybody on Facebook.
Hello, Tim. Looks like we do have one from Antonio in Salt Lake City. Is Retina Engrave for Muse cloud-based? Oh, okay, so this is basically asking if the internet is needed for RE3. No, you won't need any type of internet connectivity. Basically, if you're connected to a network, whether it's hardwire from your computer to the Muse, or your Muse is connected to your house network or work network via your router, you're good to go. So you can do that via Wi-Fi or hardwire.
Yeah, the software lives on the laser. It doesn't live in the cloud. So if we disappear overnight, your laser still works.
Absolutely. So I guess the best way to answer this question in comparison to another company, Glowforge, a very comparable competitor, I suppose. Their software basically lives on a server, and that server you access via the internet in your web browser. Our web browser is just accessing the IP of your laser, much like your printer in your home.
So as long as you have the machine on, it runs.
Absolutely. Glowforge, though, if you have no internet connectivity, if their servers are down, if you just have slow internet connectivity, the usability of your laser goes down significantly. So just something to consider if you are balancing between a Glowforge and a Muse, looking for your first hobby laser.
Just saying.
Just saying. Looks like Scott's working on the feed over there from Facebook on the second screen there. Looks like I got a question from Austin that came in this week. What's the advantage of using distilled water for your cooling system? Well, distilled water is pure water, so there are no minerals, there's no solids, there's no metals. It's just pure H2O. That's great for a closed system. Why?
Yeah, well, it builds out algae less, and the impurities that it doesn't have help the laser just run better. And you can always add some sort of bleach or Dow frost to keep it from freezing over and getting all dirty and yucky in there. Because there has been cases where people have started growing things in their tubes.
Oh, absolutely. You can imagine spring water has living organisms inside. I know that might seem gross to think about, that you go to the store and you buy some spring water and there's living things inside, but there's just typical
life.
Yeah, that's just part of life. Distilled water, though, is much different. Distilled water is strictly just H2O. I mean, there's nothing else in there. There's no minerals, no. Some people say distilled water tastes a little funny. I love how distilled water tastes because it tastes like just water, like there's no additives to it.
Yeah, just don't boil it. It's dangerous.
Why is it dangerous to boil distilled water?
Because it gets to a point where it doesn't look like it's boiling, and then once it makes contact, something makes contact with it, it reacts.
It's funny because I make my tea at home with distilled water, and I never bring it to a full boil because it's always like just pre-boil.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's ever actually boiling. And I put the tea bag in, and it just goes.
It could.
Well, we'll be careful with that next time then for sure. Looks like Steven's asking thanks for the info on Surmark. Will your CO2 lasers engrave the color-coded tumblers without using Surmark?
Yeah. Most tumblers are covered in powder coat, and that can easily be removed with your laser.
Absolutely. So remember, we talked about this last week. If you want to go back to last week's show, with the powder coats, you remember high resolution and slow, high speed, because you want to make sure you're removing all of the coating. Now, really, we would suggest if you're going to do tumblers, what's the best device for that?
The rotary.
Well, not just the rotary, but which laser?
Oh, which laser? Oh, always the fiber.
Absolutely.
If you're only doing tumblers, there's no reason not to use the fiber.
Absolutely. So just consider that if you're out there and you're thinking about getting a laser to do a bunch of tumblers, you're going 4 times as fast, 10 times as accurate, and there's never a worry on whether or not you can engrave or mark this tumbler.
Yeah, and if you want an overall laser, the Swiss Army knife of lasers, then go with a hobby or a small pro.
Absolutely. I mean, with a hobby or a small pro, I mean, really that Pro 24, not only can you do tumblers, but you can do large projects, you can do most of our pro projects we have. You're really dealing with a lot of workspace, and not only the Z and Y area, but or X and Y area, but you also have 8 extra inches of Z table height on a motorized Z table with, and this is probably the nicest thing about the Pro machine, that knife bed that goes on top of your Pro bed. It's so great. It's so much better than honeycomb as far as having heat transfer and then having parts of your project fall through. I'm a big fan of that Pro 24.
Yeah, I love the knife blades in general compared to honeycomb. It's really nice, and you can always lay the honeycomb on top of those knife blades if you need it.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, we got a couple call outs for people watching on Facebook. We got Scroll Stuff checking in from South Jersey.
Scroll Stuff, thanks for checking in.
We
Jersey
got,
represent.
Jason Cry for saying everything looks doggone good. We got John Dezel, and we have Dennis Sellender.
John and Dennis,
Dennis?
what's up, guys? Thanks so much for tuning in for the live show here in the lobby. Let us know what you think about the show and how it looks here in the lobby. If you think we should stay here in the lobby or go back to...
I like it.
I like it here too. It feels nice and bright. We have a bunch of people walking around. We got Jenna back here. We got Phil over here. Charles has got plenty of room to move around. He's not just squeezed in the back, squished between the Pro machine and 2 other things. It seems like a little bit better situation. So if you think this looks good, you'd like us here in the lobby, let us know. We might just do it here.
We have all the
now on.
awesome projects in the back.
Absolutely.
Jason says thanks for the Illustrator integration.
Oh, Jason, our pleasure. We did that just for you.
Yes.
Just kidding. We did it for you and everyone else, but it's been a big ask about the Illustrator integration and something we've been excited about for a while. We're excited that this version of the release is going to have a lot of those things you guys have been asking for.
Yeah, I think it's nice that we have so many options when it comes to files and drag and drop. Like, usually, you talk to somebody, it's like, this is how you use this machine, and these are the files it takes.
Right, like for instance, if you're kind of married to Corel with like an epilogue machine, like you have to use Corel, you have to that's
or like
the way
almost
to use it.
all CNCs. It's like you have to use this DXF file, this CAD file.
Yeah,
but you can use almost anything that you create files on. You can use with our lasers, which is nice.
Absolutely, and I think CNC probably is a little more sticky because you're dealing with the 3rd dimension as well.
Yes, but then it's the same thing following vector lines.
For the most part, yeah. But a lot of times, don't they need more information for mapping in the CNC? And CNC is just computer navigation.
Only if it's a 3-dimensional file,
Okay.
but you can read just 2D files.
Oh, excellent. I think there's actually support in Illustrator for taking DXF files and turning them into vectors and
DXF files,
Absolutely. I think that's all we have.
We got Jeanette Dezel saying hi, and we got Jen
Jeanette.
Robinson, of course.
Jen Robinson, tune in again. Thanks so much once again. And Jeanette, how's it going? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them down in the comments below. We'd love to answer them. Looks like we have, I guess that's about it. What are we making this week on the 1 hour build?
So, what is it, poo bag dog
So
holder?
poo bag dog holder.
There we go,
We made it.
3.
There's a 3. All right, so poo bag dog holder, leash holder that'll be for your walkable pets. And we'll have a bunch of extras, right, this week?
Yeah, we have collars, and I actually made a collar file for every size dog neck, so from small to large. And no matter what, they fit in a Muse if you turn it sideways. Because it goes all the way up to like 23 inches for a big dog like mine.
Right.
And then this guy you can use for a cat or one of those yappers, chihuahuas.
Those dogs have feelings too. If you got a yapper dog out there, don't let Walker make you feel bad.
And then the name tags themselves. So we have lots of files this week.
So this week, 3 legitimate files.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, we love our pets.
We love our pets. Period. I mean, like it's pretty obvious everywhere we go. We also have the cats.
Oh, you want me to grab that?
Yeah, we'll grab it real quick. Now, if you have a cat at home, don't think we forgot about you. Like, we love our cats too. We love them so much that we wanted to make sure that they had a wonderful place to sleep. So what we did is we took this cat head It was a 3D file, and Walker hollowed out the inside, and then he designed this neat little pillow that you can cut out a cloth. It's a tongue pillow, and so you have a neat little place for your cats to come in and hang out and have a little, we'll call it like a kitty cove.
Yeah, kitty cove, kitty
so,
hut.
But this file is available on the website. This is actually a profile because the size of the jowls are so big.
Because the profile of it's fairly large.
Because it's a profile.
Yeah.
Profile. Oh, look at this
There we
punny
go.
punny guy. Now you might see some commercials where a hobby laser holds up something even bigger than this, like a globe, and they try to convince you that they made it with the hobby laser. We'll tell you that up to about this layer, maybe this layer, won't fit in a hobby laser. So just know that all of these layers down below, you'll need a pro
And even
machine
if you
for.
broke this up, it would take you months to cut all these. Like
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I assume that video with the large cardboard cutout globe, that's just all they did for the first 2 months that they were shooting that video was make that globe.
Well, they had to focus on it.
Oh, and then they had to use a laser that worked. Well, we'll get to that in a So next week we'll be talking about a few things, mostly accessories that help with getting fumes outside of your machine. And then we're going to talk just a little bit about the Pro Series upgrade, especially considering RE3. We got a whole bunch of information to pass on about that next week. Until then, though, tune in Friday for Walker's build with the pets. We have in the cut tomorrow. We're doing some fiber engraving, right? Some
Yeah, we're going to
pet
actually
tags.
cut these tags out of metal instead of plastic.
So we're going to cut them out of metal and engrave them on metal, so look out for that tomorrow. Excuse all the noise that's in the background. I think they're forgetting that we're doing a show out here.
They're engineering.
That's engineering you hear in the background. So Friday, look for that the pet project that you have going on.
The poo bag holder.
The poo bag holder pet project, and then tomorrow with the engravings for the name tags. I guess until then, tune in next week on Laser Talk and
Keep making.
all right.